is just to prepare their students for the future. I was in fact the last person to join Build out of all of my friends, and I saw them all working on their different products, all these cool little gadgets and things, and I was just like, I have to be a part of that. I want to do that.
Build gave me the chance to experience things hands-on and see the world in a different view. They have taught me the spark skills of working with others, having better communication skills and problem solving. I always haven't been a confident person until I came and joined Build.
Build students build relationships with business mentors and build bridges to their communities that lead them to new opportunities. We're building a more diverse and inclusive workforce by helping students build the entrepreneurship skill set needed to thrive in a rapidly changing world.
If it wasn't because of Build, I don't think that I would have the confidence I have now. Build actually gave me the leadership skill that I needed to be my own leader.
They always guide us in the correct direction and how we should really just handle ourselves. I think that they do an amazing job with that. All this influence that I have and the lessons that they teach me are definitely making an impact on how I live my daily life, and clearly they're doing something right. So I think, yeah, Build definitely has a positive impact on the decisions I make.
See what we're building together at build.org and find out how you can help us build a better future for all our young people.
Mentorship is important, and it's truly really important here in the District of Columbia. You know, when I was living in Chicago, I realized that there were a lot of Black folk who never made it to like downtown Chicago or the office buildings in Chicago, right? So they never had that experience, right? Some of that is similar here in DC, in that some of our students in Ward 7 and 8 don't cross over into Northwest DC. So the mentorship is truly important because, you know, as a student here, you're not building that social capital. And now at age 18, 19, 20, 21, we expect you to cross over this bridge and then interview with folks that you might never had the experience with, right? And so what a mentor allows our students to do is to learn to present themselves, also grow their own familiarity with talking to someone who might and more than likely look much different from them when they're being interviewed. And so that piece is key here.
The mentors and the workshop leaders, people who participated in our roundtables this summer, they were not shy about sharing their own personal testimonies and their stories and their challenges and their adversities and their hardships and what they had to push through in order to become successful. So then what? Those entrepreneurs, those successful businessmen and women are speaking the same language as our students. So now our students are saying, wow, this is somebody who is successful in spite of. This is somebody who persevered and pressed through in spite of. So now I no longer have any room for excuses. I have no room to hesitate or to be unsure or lacking in confidence about my skills and talents and abilities, or think that somehow I won't make it because of external circumstances that are beyond my control. Because these people made it through, I made it through, and I had a tough life growing up.
I could tell you the stats. I could tell you the numerous studies that show that if you are quote unquote low income, that without the support of an adult mentor, it doesn't matter how great the education is, you're probably not going to get ahead. I could do all that. But I think it's life experience, and anybody watching this, I think you know that it's the relationships you have that drive you forward in life. And when you have an adult that cares about you, that is willing to listen to you and allow you to make mistakes and even encourage it, that is liberating and that is life-changing. So I think mentors are a powerful asset to build, and in many ways, if they were a two-sided coin, I would say they'd be one side of that coin.
Mentoring at Build is an incredibly rewarding experience. Our mentors come from a variety of backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, aspirations, all in an effort to give our students that network of support system. Whether that's with their pitch competitions, getting their business ideas, they give them, professional advice, but also sometimes students just need support outside of the classroom, someone to talk to vent to. That's what our mentors provide, is genuine connection. And that's actually what the heart of our program is through our mentors and our students and our teachers. That connection is what helps our students to grow.
My name is Cindy Moliere. I'm from Hyde Park, Massachusetts. With Build and creating a business at your young age, there were times where things didn't go as well as we planned, and it was all about bouncing back and trying again. it's definitely helped me in a huge way because I don't see failures, kind of. I just see them as learning experiences. So I didn't expect to have a mentor in high school, but it definitely benefited me in the long run because I had another source of motivation and another support system that I didn't expect to have. Of course, you expect to have your family, but to have, this stranger who started out as a stranger really care about you and made sure that you did your homework, made sure that, you're succeeding in the ways that you want to was really helpful. So Jim Madison was very helpful to me and my team during our high school experience, in our build experience.
I'm Jim Madison. I am a build mentor. So with Cindy, I never imagined walking into a ninth grade classroom and then fast forwarding 8 years, 4 through build and now 4, and then at the end of the 8 years that she'd be graduating Bentley, my alma mater.
Because of Jim, I felt comfortable on campus. I felt like I belonged, and I felt like I did work hard to get here. And it was because he definitely pushed me to apply to the school. He came to campus with me before school ever started to meet with professors, and that just made me feel 10 times more comfortable being here.
What I'm proudest of, that's easy, was attending your graduation here and watching you walk across the stage, which, was an 8-year process from when we first met.
For me, it's patience that you had for us and make sure that we were motivated. And not only for our business, but even in my college career. That really meant a lot. And it showed how involved you were in our personal lives along with Build.
I'm Cindy Moliere. I'm a Build alumni, and I'm a Build Boston board member. And I am Generation Entrepreneur.
My name is Ayana Moody. I'm the Director of Social Impact for the Warriors Community Foundation, and I am Jenny. Build really helped me to hone in my skills and unique gifts and be able to channel all the energy that I had into something great. And I was able to start Dizzy Inc., a greeting card business, when I was in middle school, and it helped me to bring my passion to wanting to serve people and also make money. And it was a phenomenal experience. And I think what I learned the most that I take from Build is corporate social responsibility. Baked into our business plans, we had to learn about how do we give back. You make a lot of money in business, and how could we give back and really support, Oaklanders, support youth at our school, and that concept always stuck with me. And so now, as the Director of Social Impact in Generation Thrive for the Warriors Community Foundation, I'm able to still think about those skills that I learned in Build when I was in the 8th grade. It's incredible when you really think about it. I grew up in Oakland, and I know that there weren't a lot of business professionals that I came across in my hometown, especially in my neighborhood. And so Build was able to really show me about different industries, but then also, have mentors in my life that were in business, that were able to talk to me about the highs and the lows of building a business, sustaining a business, but also why it's so important to give back each and every day. And they shined a mirror into how I wanted to change and be a different person. They didn't let me come in as half myself. They made sure I came in my full self, ready to really dig in, really ready to collaborate, ready to learn about something different. And they didn't take my half excuses. And that was hard for me because I don't feel like that I came across people that really challenged me to be a better me. And so honestly, it was so life-changing.
At Build.org, we don't just help students build businesses with our entrepreneurship program and design challenges. We help them build confidence. We help them build character.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Build Live podcast. We'll have to work on that name. I don't know exactly what it is yet. But we are so excited. I'm Julie Tumaz, and I'm your host. This is, I think, all of December. We are taking a break next week, but we have had some great podcasts, some live streams in the last couple weeks. And this is just going to continue to get better and better. And so today we have two amazing guests from our own Build family, our very own CEO, Thais Rezende, and program manager, or program director now of Build Pittsburgh, Emily Donato. So we're just going to be talking a little bit about the end of the year, looking at 2025. Really, how was that? Some of our proud moments, show a couple pictures, and just kind of wrap it up for 2025. We won't be having our podcast next week because we're on the holidays, and then we will be back in January. So I just want to kind of introduce Thais. This is our first time on our podcast. So first of all, Thais, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? As you are our first, this is your first chance to be on the podcast. So
Yeah. Hey, Julie. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. If you are tuning in for our incredible podcast, my name is Thais Rezende. I'm the president and CEO of Build. And I've been in entrepreneurship education for over 20 years. I can't believe it. Time really flew. But I'm extremely passionate about entrepreneurship education and the incredible competencies and skills and opportunities that it opens up for everyone. And I have seen it in every modality that you can imagine. I work with women, I work with children, and now with youth. And every single time I have seen the power of the entrepreneurial mindset, creating opportunities for every person that dips and starts this journey. And I'm super happy to be here, sharing with you the last podcast of the year.
amazing. We're so excited to have you, Thais. And we also have Emily Donato from Build Pittsburgh coming in. Emily, can you introduce yourself? We'd love to hear a little bit more about you and your background before we dive into our conversations.
Sure. Thanks, Julie. Hi, everybody. My name is Emily. I am the program director for Build in Pittsburgh. I have been with Build Pittsburgh almost since the program launched. So the program launched in Pittsburgh in the fall of 2021. So we are coming up on our 5th year here in 2026, and soon to be 4 years of me being with Build. And so my career has revolved around um, youth and young adult workforce and career preparation, which I see Build as fitting into very clearly with our Spark skills and the way that entrepreneurship education helps students to develop transferable skills for any career that they might want to go into, whether that's entrepreneurship or career, college, etc. And so I've done everything from student internships, job shadowing. I helped to launch a teen workforce program at our local Boys and Girls Clubs. And I'm just really passionate about helping students to find out what they like to do and experiment and meet supportive adults who want to help them to expand their networks and get them access to more opportunities, because our students can do amazing things. They just have to be given a platform to do it.
Amazing. And Emily, we're so excited that you have been here. And Pittsburgh has been in our regional hubs for almost 5 years. So at the end, we are going to talk a little bit about that and looked at 2026 as the 5th year anniversary for Build Pittsburgh. So super excited about that. But first, before we go forward, let's reflect back. So let's just kind of start off with a moment in 2025 that really stood out for you, that really kind of spoke to what the year was about. And I'll let our guests think for a second. I'll kind of start us off. Um, so I would say the one moment that really stood out to me was actually Thais, you were part of this, having all three of our CEOs stand together and have a conversation at our national and California event, Build the Future, in October. It was phenomenal just to see those three powerhouse women speaking to each other, speaking really about all of the transitions and the moments that Build has had over the last 25 years, right? So not just a year recap, but really a 25-year recap. And just it was so powerful to see the diversity of leadership, the diversity of women leadership. It was just super wonderful to hear the stories of Suzanne, Ayeli, and Thais as our current CEO and president. So the whole night was inspirational. Of course, the students were incredible as well with their pitches and their marketplace at Build the Future. But that was a really meaningful moment, especially because since I've been here almost 6 years, I got to be working with Ayeli and Thais, and obviously I've been working kind of hand in hand with our founder, Suzanne. So just to see that was super special for me. And I'll pass it over to Thais for her kind of thoughts.
Before I go to my moment, I just want to expand on what you said, Julie, because I think it was super powerful for me as well. I been in leadership of nonprofit organizations for many years, and it really is rare to be in a room with the founder and the previous CEO. Usually they move on and then they just go on to do what they need to do and their next venture. But for Bill and for me as the third leader of the organization has been incredibly enriching and nurturing to have these two powerhouse women next to me, and I know I can pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I'm going through this decision and I really love your thoughts on it, and just to know that they have my back.
love it. Yes, Thais, and the graphic should be just showing right here. You can use the QR code or even text to donate to really help us build that future in 2026. So, Emily, would love to hear, as program director in Build Pittsburgh, I know you are, doing many things in Build Pittsburgh, but I know you are in the classroom, on the ground with our students and teachers, which is just amazing to have these two perspectives today. Thais, our CEO, and one of our amazing Build directors here. So, Emily, can you tell us about a moment in 2025 that you really feels like speaks to the year, just was a really proud moment for you?
For sure, I have several. So you cut me off when you want to move on, but as far as, again, giving our students those opportunities to shine, one of my proudest moments was being able to provide a new venue for that. So in most regions at Build Fest, right, we were able to, in Pittsburgh for the first time, have our students selling their products in addition to the pitch competition, which is usually the main event, but we've never had students being able to sell and talk to people about their products before. So really, really proud of those students for showing up to the first student marketplace and talking to people, selling their products, and really representing and taking those all of the amazing work that they do in the classroom and bringing it into the real world, right? So that was incredible. And also I'll shout out in our most recent newsletter, we featured our school partner, Urban Pathways Charter School, and Ms. Bonnie Gordon, our Build teacher there. One of my favorite, I think my favorite experience from the past year is working with Bonnie, because this is her second year working with Build. But in her first year, she was, I would say, having an experience similar to what we put students through sometimes in Build, where, if they've never had a class before where they get to make so many choices in their learning about, okay, what is it that I'm interested in? What is it that I want to learn about in order to, make my project and my product and my business really my own? Students don't get that opportunity a lot. So I think similarly, Bonnie was having an experience of saying, I don't know how to support all of my students every day having all of these creative ideas, and was kind of asking me for a good amount of reassurance, am I doing the right thing? And I said, you're doing great. It doesn't have to feel perfect. There is no perfect. Also, just do what's best for the students and do whatever you feel. If you walk into class tomorrow and you think that they need to do something different than what was on the agenda, because you're supposed to be talking about cost of goods sold, but they're still not sure, what components are going to go into their products, it's okay to divert from the lesson plan. And so watching Bonnie go through those experiences in class in her first year and come back this year as the most excited and kind of a complete 180 in terms of her confidence, that has been an amazing experience, and one of the most rewarding, aside from showcasing the students at events, it's seeing how Build impacts the teachers. That really is one of those awesome moments that you can't replicate anywhere else, in my history.
I love it. No, I'm never going to cut you off, Emily. You can just keep on going. I know, in literally the eyes and ears on the ground. Speaking of some of Emily's stories, I'd love to kind of focus this next question on keeping students at the center. That's something we always say. And, where was a moment that you saw Build embodied by a student, or just a specific student moment that you were especially inspired by? And again, I will go first to let you guys think about this. They did not get a script for this. So I would say, I had the pleasure of working with some students in California. I'm in San Francisco here, but I went over to the Oakland area on a couple different accounts. visiting some of the schools there, and specifically saw one team over, I mean, maybe 6 or 7 times over the course of the year, and that was Elder Stroll. Elder Stroll actually were featured as well in our up and coming PSA or trailer video from that we're making in partnership with Comcast, and we're super excited about that, and they were featured in it. And so just watching them, Elder Stroll was their team name, and what they did was they were creating a kind of a multi-use cane for elderly, and it had different grippers, and it it had like different kinds of attachments that you could do. And we were definitely, they just had this great pitch. Their team was amazing. Their pitch, I remember, also included a candy. Literally in one of their pitches, they were like, but elders, they love the candy too. So, this is why we give them extra candy. Just such, just really inspiring to see them multiple times, and then also them taking that leadership of being involved in the video where they came out and helped out and were suddenly thrown into actors, right? It's just so fun what you get to see when you're at Build. It's from being entrepreneurs and business owners, suddenly they're kind of being part of this film. So very cool to work with them, and you will be seeing them soon in our video coming out in 2026. So keep your eyes out for Elder Stroll. Thais, I know that you are not working on the ground in the classroom, but I know you do have a lot of touch points with students and alumni. Any moment that comes to mind from 2025 that kind of sparked your inspiration with the students?
Oof, there's so many, but I think I'm gonna focus now on the youth fellowship program because that's the one that I work the closest with. And the youth fellowship program is one of our newest programs. Was developed only 3 years ago, and the goal of it was to bring back our alumni students and really help them develop their voice as a leader, their voice as co-designers, and give them a seat at the table. So when we teach entrepreneurship and when we go into the classroom, our ultimate goal is to create leadership opportunities for our students. And by leadership opportunities, I refer to giving them truly the opportunity to become the CEOs of their own lives. And what that means is that they would have an opportunity to decide what their future and journey will look like. It's not what we decide, it's not what we think is best for them, it's them having access to the knowledge, skills, and competencies that will allow them to make the right choices for them to achieve their full potential, to achieve the success that they're seeking for. Not the one that we are deciding or the vision that we have for them, but what they want to do. So, in this journey and in this structure that we have created as an organization, we had a missing link, which was what happens when our students graduate from high school. Yes, they enroll in college, others start businesses, others go into work. We knew that was happening, but what is the active role that Bill is playing in that transition, which is one of the most important transitions that we can have as a young person or our students? I'm not a young person anymore, but a young person would have. And so we realized that um, in order to make this become a CEO of your own life reality that goes beyond a slogan, we needed to do a little bit more. And so we created this fellowship program to give space for our students to start to have a seat at the table, as I said before, but also to be able to exercise their leadership in a very concrete way. So what this group does is it influences and it actually co-create and co-designs curriculum. It co-designs systems with school districts, with curriculum developers, with organizations that work with youth, so that they're not guessing what youth want, or it doesn't come from a perspective of an adult, but actually a young person is at the table helping develop these tools that actually reaches them in the right way. So through this program, we have had a series of roundtables across the country, working with the Gates Foundation and with, as I said, curriculum developers and school districts, to really come up with solutions that actually address the real challenges that young people live through in their daily lives. So the growth that I have seen in these young people that have participated in this program is just out of this world. It really is mind blowing. If I could put an emoji, it would be the head blowing one, because it's just so inspiring and powerful to see them go up on stage, speak to 300 people and say, this is how you do design thinking, and this is how you start looking for solutions, and this is what I have to bring to the table. That is not just a made up solution, is based in so much reality and truth and power that it's just inspiring, as I said. And when they come back from those experiences, the slogan of I'm the becoming the CEO of of my own life becomes a reality. They come back from those experiences knowing that they do have influence in what happens around them and in their own lives in a way that they never imagined they would have. And to me, that's the moment that I want to highlight today, because truly Bill has the students at the center from when they're really young in ninth grade, all the way in which you see them exercising that power and that sense of self and understanding who they are and what they can bring to the world.
Yeah, it's truly amazing, the yaps and some of our students going to these conferences and really participating in just light years ahead of their time. And we've had a couple, they've been part of a couple conferences. I know we also had a retreat this year with our founder and Cindy, and some really amazing things. Additionally, in 2026, just in a couple weeks, we are actually, the YAP is going to be looking at giving us feedback on a new marketing module that we will be putting out, which is super exciting. A partnership we're working with Adobe. So really excited for, I think what's really amazing is we're utilizing the YAP in looking and giving us feedback internally as well. So they're going to be looking at the module, this really amazing kind of Adobe Express marketing for our FanBiz curriculum, and they're going to say, okay, well, this needs to change, this needs to change. Give us feedback, and then we'll be putting it out with that co-design of youth as well. So really excited for them to get their eyes on that and start working on that.
And speaking of that, they will also be at South by Southwest presenting in February. So I'm telling you, they're going around, and some of our students never left their city before they started participating in the youth fellowship program. And for them, it was the first time they were taking an airplane outside their city, their state. And as we all know, having these opportunities really opens up your mind and vision of what you can accomplish and where you want to go and where you can go. And that's why I think that the practicality and the incredible way in which our program not only creates curriculum that is lecture, but the hands-on and the opportunities, the door that it opens up for young people is what is at the center of the passion and commitment that we have as an organization.
Yeah, I agree completely. I'm so glad you brought the yap up, Thais. Um, Emily, so same question. How again in Pittsburgh, coming from as the program director, I know you're working with a lot of teachers and students. So, is there one moment, one story that kind of sticks out to you from 2025?
There's never just one, but also I forgot to say, and I always think that this is important to share, for sort of transparency, but also like a testimonial. For me, build is not just a job. Like I mentioned in my kind of background, talking about when I was working at the Boys and Girls Clubs, I had been working on a project that used human-centered design for students to find a problem in their community and solve it, right? And was working on this project, and like every year would tweak it just a little bit because it wasn't quite like doing exactly what we wanted it to do. It wasn't quite clicking with all of the students as well as we felt that it could have. Um, and that's when I found the Build Design Challenge and myself took the training. And again, kind of as a non-traditional educator, but really having seen the power of giving students opportunities to develop these real world skills in real world scenarios, right? And so I ended up using the Build Design Challenge with my students at the Boys and Girls Clubs. And then when a position opened up in Pittsburgh, I said, I have to apply and work here because I really want to help to share this program with more students, because I truly believe that like if every student in America had this type of opportunity and they had a build experience, I think we would live in a different world, truly. And so all that to say, I also come at it from that lens of like, I love this program so much, and I'm so honored to like help get to share it with more students. And so a couple quick stories I'll share, and sort of speaking more towards the beginning of a student's build experience. So our build students do the design challenge in their first semester with build. And so I was watching some students give sort of an informal how their design challenge was coming along so far. And they're designing for one of the Build Design Challenge clients, which is Sixto. And he is also a teacher, and one of his issues is that he has a hard time connecting with his students. And so the student business team that I was speaking with was talking about wanting to encourage Sixto to do some sort of program. They didn't say like build, but like that's where they were going, where they said, Sixto should have activities in his class that are, helping students to work together in groups, and then they're collaborating with each other. And they're also, collaborating with Sixto, with their teacher in a different way, because it's, this group collaborative communal thing. And then they spoke to their build experience and said, in our build class, I feel like we get to work with our teacher and get to know her in a different way when she's supporting us on this work than we would in our other classes. And so it was just very cool to hear the students say, doing what they have experienced so far in build class had been impactful for them, so much so that they wanted to recommend a similar activity, right, to Sixto in order to build relationship, build community in his classroom. So that was just really cool because I hadn't heard that idea before either. And it's always fun to hear new student ideas when we've been working with Sixto as a client for a couple years now. And so the other example or moment that I just wanted to share is what I like to call the build magic, which is when you have seen students go through their whole class for a whole year, and you've seen them grow from a shy student who didn't really want to say hi to anybody, to getting on stage for Build Fest and competing as one of the top 3 teams in the region. And so we had a team from Pittsburgh Westinghouse Academy, and their team was called Academ IQ. And so I remember, a week before Build Fest going in and giving them some pointers on their presentation. And again, they were so nervous. They could barely make it through a whole run through without like having to stop and completely, forgot what they were saying. And then they showed up at Build Fest and they had gotten these matching t-shirts with their logos. They were all wearing, the same style of jeans and shoes, and their teacher had like a blazer that matched the color of their t-shirts, and they were just on it. And that's what I call the Build Magic, is when the students walk into Build Fest and you kind of have this experience of not your life flashing before your eyes, but the past year flashing before your eyes, where you say, I remember when that student didn't want to say hello to anybody or work with anybody in class, and now they're getting on stage as a business team with their whole company logo and merch and all of this stuff, and just confidence, just brimming with confidence and bringing with joy when they then won first place. So there are so many stories like that, but also it never gets old. And it's also, you never know if a student is going to potentially decide not to rise to the occasion, in the course of one school year, to say like, I don't, I'm not sure if I can do this, if I can stand on stage and give this presentation. I always get nervous that they might back out, but more often than not, the students always surprise me and surprise themselves and show up and give, a presentation that if you had talked to them even just the week before and they were saying how nervous they were, you're never quite sure that they're gonna be, on point. But then there's something about stepping onto that stage at Build Fest and giving their presentation and competing against the other business teams that helps them just step into that role of CEO. And like, you can almost watch them feel like, oh, this is what it means to be the CEO of my own life. So it's the best day of the year, I always say, Build Fest.
It's like the holidays. I think that's what you were like saying last time I was in Pittsburgh. And Emily, you are definitely a huge part of that build magic you're speaking of, your amazing work in Pittsburgh. And another reason why amazing promotion this year, another highlight was Emily becoming a program director. So congratulations on that, and the 5-year anniversary of Pittsburgh. So I am going to pivot a little bit, and just because we have had some moments to really share our 3 top moments, but I want some of the ideas of some of the other people in our organization to kind of come out. And we had an amazing all staff meeting last week where we did a big celebration and kind of a review of what 2025 was for all of our staff and our teams. We are going to run some of those pictures and also those slides. And I'm going to ask Thais to help me kind of talk through some of those top moments. And I'll start with New York and DC, and then Thais, you can take California, and then Emily has a little surprise. Doing a little poem, Mad Libs, for the Northeast. And then Thais, you can talk a little bit about the program, and I'll talk a little bit about just national development and comms. So we're gonna just take a few moments. I think you should be seeing those pictures. So yeah, just celebrating the year. It was absolutely incredible, because this is 2025. Usually what we do is we have a huge, all of our end of year, school year events starting in May and June. So those are our build fests. So you might be seeing some pictures of those all across the United States and all of our hubs. So Boston, New York, Pittsburgh, DC, LA, and the Bay Area all have like end of year events. Build Fests, and we have was there anything that uh, I think they're actually showing Pittsburgh's Build Fest, Emily, right now. Anything that you kind of top moments for Pittsburgh's Build Fest this year?
Well, if you remember, Julie, it rained on the day of Build Fest, and we had been planning a really lovely, our first student marketplace, like I said, was supposed to be outside in this really lovely kind of industrial pavilion, and we had to move it inside. Yeah, just the joy on the students' faces as they're sharing and talking with their products about folks, during the marketplace and kind of opening reception. And then, of course, the famous balloon arch while students are doing their pitches. Um, yeah, just a couple of those other build magic touches, if you will.
Amazing. Yes, I do remember that. I was lucky enough to attend to do some photo and video. And now you're seeing a picture of actually the team, amazing team. And then the New York City Build Fest is actually showing now. That one was super interesting, super cool, different kind of venue. I know Pittsburgh has been using kind of the same venue a couple of years. I'm really loving that one. And this one, a lot of times Build Fest do rotate in different places. And the one in New York this year, you can see in the picture now, it had kind of like 2 floors, it was like auditorium seating. So the students really just gives this different feel for the students than, your average classroom. And all these different people there, donors, partners, and just everyone kind of cheering the students on, failing forward, as we always say, and really just showcasing their confidence in totally different spaces. So really beautiful. And that actually is our end of Build Fest, always New York in June. And so, and yeah, and then the other big event this year that has happened that we're starting is Build the Future, and that was actually in October. You're seeing a few, if you just keep scrolling, you will see there a few different pictures of Build the Future. And so that was a kind of special occasion. We were talking about that earlier. You're seeing the picture now of our 3 CEOs. And also, this was all the different alumni with Thais, amazing. You can see just really had a great show, and was able to raise $400,000 from that event. So really exciting. Speaking of that, you can always scan the code. We're still trying to finish our campaign of the year. How will you build? So we're finishing strong. Remember, you can get your tax rebate if you do it before 2026. So, so again, we just wanted to talk a little bit about the different teams. So we're going to show a couple of the proud moments of 2025 depending on different teams. And this was actually written by those regional teams. So we're going to start with New York. And I'm not going to read all of this, but they were talking about the founding school member, New Design High School, kick it off the year with igniting the future of talent in the age of AI. Really amazing event. Went to Career Day at the Bronx Beta, one of their schools. Pitch Prov was a really exciting event for almost 50 students at the Brooklyn Emerging Leaders Academy. And the New York City usually does a hackathon. And this was a really great way to introduce students to the human-centered design through our curriculum. And then they ended the year strong, New York, at the Marsh AQ with the Giving Tuesday, and board members and the Build community all got together for that live stream that started this live stream series. And so that was New York. So traveling down to DC, they had some amazing Deloitte Made Day where the students engaged in Deloitte's Discover, Aspire, and Drive Excellence framework. Really amazing. Deloitte Impact Day as well. working with the Deloitte Volunteers, Metro DC Hackathon, similar to the New York City Hackathon, basically a day of that design, human-centered design, and a Build alumnus celebration. So we even Ian began his next chapter at James Madison, and then they partnered with JMU to bring the Dare Shift directly to the students. So basically bringing his company to JMU that he started from Build. And finally, expansion to Alexandria. So from the DC area, going right to Alexandria, Virginia. They're very excited about that for 2026. I'm going to pass it over to Thais to just talk a little bit about some of those proud moments in California. What was going on over there on the West Coast?
Well, because we started our work in California, it made sense to go back to celebrate our 25th anniversary. So the biggest moment for California, I think, was the Build the Future event, which allowed us to bring back past donors and supporters and friends and current and a lot of new people that got to see in action our program through our marketplace and hearing the pitch competition that we also had. We did it at the Alexandria in San Carlos, and it was so beautiful. And of course, because we started 25 years 25 years ago in California, it's our largest region for Bill. So they are continuing to grow very strongly. We reach over 1,000 students every year just in between the Bay Area and LA. And we're very proud of our California region. They're doing an amazing job there.
Amazing. Yes, and Build the Future was incredible, and that was kind of a keystone of the year for California and national. So really amazing to be there and see CEOs and the students. And Emily has a special treat for us. Emily, on what's going on in the Northeast. She was super creative with the team, and I'll let her talk about it.
Thank you. Yeah, so for our end of year reflection for the Northeast, which is both Pittsburgh and Boston, we kind of did a team building activity where we also did a bit of a Mad Libs exercise, if you will, turned into kind of a poem. So I'm going to read that for you. It's a little bit silly, but also, highlights a couple of key events and things that happened for us this year in Pittsburgh and Boston. So here we go. This semester at Build Northeast began with a whirlwind of adventures. Before students pitched a single idea, we spent the summer talking about AI with board member Catherine Mann from HubSpot. As the semester unfolded, we found ourselves traveling between 14 different schools, drinking approximately 20 daily cups of coffee between the three of us, and saying the phrase, just a quick reminder, more times than we can count. When Shannon returned from parental leave, she was navigating baby brain, reminding us that sometimes resilience looks like just showing up. And baby Amelia supported the team by devouring multiple turkey legs. Excuse me. Multiple turkey legs, yes. So there's a picture somewhere in there. You'll see adorable baby Amelia. Over that same stretch of time, Shannon quietly put in about 1 million miles on her car, visiting schools in far corners of the galaxy known as Massachusetts, across highways, back roads, and at least a few questionable parking situations, but they all turned out okay. Meanwhile, our students were busy doing very important things like visiting Santa's toy factory, which is actually 360 PR, who happens to work with Nintendo, thus the toy factory. Students also dazzled the masses by appearing on Spark FM and annoying their teachers by asking to go to the bathroom approximately every 90 seconds during class, of course. Across Boston and Pittsburgh, we recruited and hosted excited volunteers who showed up generously in classrooms, asked thoughtful questions, and made the students feel like movie stars. I personally hosted Pittsburgh's first Giving Tuesday event, reminding us that with community and Wi Fi, we can make impact anywhere. Through it all, some words that defined how we work together this semester are innovation, collaboration, over communicating things 10 times because we forgot if we had already had that discussion, and overall full of that build spark. If this semester had a title, it would be It's All About the Turkey Leg, How to Handle Biting Off More Than You Can Chew.
I
So thank
love
you for
it.
asking me to read that very fun and not at all embarrassing story, Julie.
No, I love it. I love it. I see, you can see our staff is just as creative as our students sometime and our teachers. No, thank you so much, Emily. Amazing. And Thais, take us away with a couple of those national program moments of 2025.
We continue to grow our digital offerings. And as part of that, we actually launched early this year our LMS, our learning hub for Beal. And another great milestone was our um, SMK retreat, scholars retreat, which is so every year we give scholarship to some of our alumni students that are going to college and need that extra help to enroll. And so we were able to bring them together before the semester started to talk about their future, their plans, their vision, and to create community, which is really important as you begin this journey. And that was held in California in at our founder's home. And that was a lovely time of fellowship among our students. Speaking of fellowships, our youth fellowship partnership and program created partnerships with Rice University, ACT, Ames. We also participated in the Ames convening and RAND. And all of this were examples of cases in which our youth came to be at the table and co-design with this great organizations. And we are consolidating now our volunteer sign up. So if you want to be part of our program and you want to mentor, coach, support our students, you can do so now through our website. You can sign up there and you'll be reached out by our incredible volunteer director to hook you up and connect you with opportunities across the country. So if you're living close to any of our sites, Boston, Pittsburgh, New York, DC, LA, and Bay Area, you will be contacted to come to one of our classrooms and work directly with our students. So do that before the podcast ends. And lastly is we're continuing to update our resources for our teachers and streamline our programming through our platform so that everyone, every student, every teacher gets access to our build program so that they can continue to build with us.
Amazing. So many things happening. I love it. Thank you, Thais. And just the last thing I'm going to quickly go through is we've talked a little bit about these, but some of the top moments for the development and comms team. We've talked a lot about Build the Future. Amazing. 400K with 184 attendees. And then also we had a 100K surprise anonymous gift through the El Gray Volunteer Impact Initiative at that Build the Future event. The live stream you're seeing today has been started and we're super excited about it, bringing in guests, board, staff, alumni, students, teachers. That will continue in January. And then finally, we have a new newsletter that we're excited about as well. So I know that we started a little late, so I will kind of keep this open for a couple minutes extra because I do want to talk a little bit about 2026. And so I think we have about time for, two different opinions. Emily, I'm going to start with you. And because we are super excited about Build Pittsburgh's 5-year anniversary. So, how are you celebrating? What are you celebrating? What's special about this year? Tell us, get us pumped.
Yeah, thank you, Julie. So, as I mentioned, Build Pittsburgh launched in the fall of 2021. We were working with just one school, McKeesport Senior High School, who we are still working with now. And at that time, we were working with 50 students, and now we serve um, around 250 to 300 students every year across the Pittsburgh area. So, and the way that we have grown and also kind of developed as a program and as a resource in the community in Pittsburgh over the past 5 years is something that we really want to celebrate. And so to kick off 5 years of Build Pittsburgh, which will be all throughout 2026. We are having our first ever Winter Pitch Fest, which is January 14th at the Energy Innovation Center. And so this will be an opportunity for students to present their Build Design Challenge ideas, which they will later turn into their full business presentations by the end of the school year. But it's an opportunity for them to be doing a presentation outside of the classroom for the first time so that they can get used to that, what it feels like again for people who are not just your teacher or people in your school to care about what it is that you have to say and your ideas that you want to share. And to get some feedback on their presentation and their business idea and their presentation skills in a new environment, again, that is not typically you know, a place where students would be and would be the captive or have a captive audience listening to them. So we're really excited for Pitch Fest. And then we are going off of this theme of 5, right? Trying to encourage folks to get involved so that we can help to continue to grow and develop to prepare Build Pittsburgh for the next 5 years, right? So, whether that's volunteering for 5 hours or referring 5 coworkers who might be interested in acting as a judge, for example, or even just, creating a giving circle with your 5 friends, interviewing our 5 founding teachers, administrators, and community champions. We want to have more live streams like this. And so overall, and a plug again that in this season of giving, if you have the means to contribute to our How Will You Build campaign, we would appreciate that. You can donate so that we can train more teachers on our project-based learning entrepreneurship program, so we can provide more of the teachers with the tools that they need to help their students become the CEO of their own lives, right? And so in Pittsburgh in particular, we want to reach more students. So we want to grow wide, but we also want to grow deeper and have a deeper impact with all of our current students and ensure that their school, if their school is only currently offering our first year, Build Your Business, we want them to also have multiple years of programming with our Build Your Voice curriculum. And we just want to, as I said, what inspired me to join to work at Build was just to help as many students as possible to have access to this type of opportunity to see how we can make positive change in our communities. So that's what 5 years of Build Pittsburgh will be all about, is just highlighting that change and continuing to drive it forward.
I'm super excited, Emily, and I can't wait to also have more of the Build Pittsburgh team on the live stream at when we are actually celebrating it in about 2 weeks. So yeah, super excited to have maybe 5 of those people come on one day. And congratulations, love the name Pitch Fest. Pitch Fest. So excited about that on January 17th. So if you're in Pittsburgh, definitely look into volunteering or supporting. And Thais, why don't you close us off tonight? Would love to just hear from you, our amazing CEO and president. What is 2026? What are you most excited about? What's in the horizon for the organization in general?
Yeah. We all know that our world is changing. It's changing in many ways. One of which is the adoption of AI continues to grow and shape the future of work, of the workforce. And so, as we're thinking about the future of Beal, it's really important to think about what are the gaps, what are the um, areas in which Beal can become and continue to be that connector between the today and the future opportunities for our students. So what we are embracing is the reality of AI and how not only needs to be incorporated into how we prepare our students for future careers and the workforce and the workplace, but also how is AI going to support us as an organization to be more efficient, more effective, and grow our impact. You mentioned it before, Julie. We're already starting to work with partners like Adobe to bring AI into marketing and design, but there's so many uses of it in all aspects of starting a business and creating pathways um, for our students. So that's where we are today. We are we have always embraced entrepreneurial mindset, and that means being innovative. And so we're not slowing down. We are accelerating. We're growing. We're embracing this aspect of who we are as an organization, and ensuring that as we do that, we are connecting our students to those opportunities that will continue to open doors for them to achieve their full potential.
Amazing. And yeah, I mean, using it, AI is here to stay. I mean,
It is.
and we need to be smart and know how to use it and teach our students, and not be afraid of it because can't fall behind. So, and neither should our students. And so thank you so much, Thais, for kind of painting that picture of 2026 and beyond, honestly. And thank you guys both for staying, for being here today and just talking and celebrating 2025 with me. It was really amazing to hear the stories about the students and also just moments that inspired us. And thank you so much. So, any last words?
Thank you for joining us and become part of Build. Come build with us. So build the future with us.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And again, we'll see you back in January for our next live stream.
Thanks, y'all. Happy
Mentorship is
holidays.
important, and
Thank
it's
you.
truly really, really important here in the District of Columbia.